The better days ahead, finding hope even in hard times. Even the wisest, most even-keeled among us, endure periods when turmoil, grief, or challenges dim our inner light. Times when we lose sight of the silver linings, and instead feel battered by cold winds and drenching rains no umbrella can defend against. Take heart, my friends. I've gathered here 10 thought-provoking perspectives to illuminate the path forward during trying times. These encouraging words from sages, spanning centuries, are potent seeds, waiting to bloom renewed verve within. May their wisdom sprinkle glimmers of hope, to sustain you until your own storm clouds dissipate, as they all invariably do. The clouds will part, the sun will emerge, and you'll bask again in its glowing warmth. But first, let these uplifting words be the lanterns that guide you there. Staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on hard days, you know that there are better ones coming. The essence of this quote is that being positive does not require feeling happy at every moment. Even when facing difficult times, or having a bad day, positivity means maintaining a mindset that better moments lie ahead. Rather than succumbing to negative emotions, a positive person endures the hardships, confident that they are temporary. They see the bigger picture, that life has ups and downs, but the downs don't last forever. Maintaining this belief in forthcoming good days sustains them until their situation does improve again. Positivity is about carrying hope through the hard times. Do not lose hope, please believe that there are 1,000 beautiful things waiting for you. Sunshine comes to all who feel rain. By R.M. Drake. This quote by R.M. Drake is about persevering through difficult times with hope and faith that better days lie ahead. When we face struggles that bring us down like rain storms, it can be hard to remain optimistic. Drake urges us to not lose hope or give up when going through such challenging periods. He wants us to trust and believe firmly that, just as the storms eventually pass, and the warm rays of sunshine come out again, so too will our current troubles subside in due time. We must keep conviction that, just around the bend are a multitude of beautiful possibilities, waiting for those who have persevered. Maintaining this hope will help sustain us, until the storm clouds do lift once more. I've learned as time passes, all the things that you're afraid of will come and they will go and you'll be alright. By Stevie Nicks. This quote eloquently expresses the fact that, often the things we worry and fear the most, rarely end up happening, and if they do, the experience is never as catastrophic as we imagined. Oftentimes, our anxiety leads us to envision worst-case scenarios that seem utterly unmanageable. However, as time passes, and we gain life experience and perspective, we realize the things we dreaded were never as world-shattering as our worries made them out to be. What we feared coming to pass did eventually come, but it also eventually went away, and we endured it with resilience. We survived, coped, and realized how much strength we had, even for the scenarios that felt too overwhelming for us to handle. Time reveals what we can handle. I survived because the fire inside me burned brighter than the fire around me. By Joshua Graham. This powerful quote from Joshua Graham poetically compares the harrowing and life-threatening trials one may face to being surrounded by a raging fire. The only way to survive a physical fire raging around you is to get away from the flames. But when the fire is a metaphor for adversity, trauma, or misfortune in life, you cannot necessarily escape it externally. In those cases, survival requires an even greater, more tenacious inner fire or strength of spirit to endure what you cannot flee from physically. When people face overwhelming odds and challenges that push them to their limits, the fire inside them, their resolve, life force, perseverance, must outmatch and overpower whatever hardship surrounds them, if they are to prevail. Our inner fire allows us to survive. At the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can. By Frida Kahlo. In this quote, renowned Mexican artist Frida Kahlo succinctly encapsulates the incredible and often untapped power of human endurance and resilience. When we are not in the midst of hardship, our perspective can be skewed into thinking we could never withstand certain catastrophic or challenging scenarios. However, when adversity strikes and we are in the thick of a difficult or painful struggle, we discover wellsprings of tenacity and resolve we didn't know existed within us. At the close of even the darkest days, we realize with clarity that our capacity to survive life's batterings is much more robust than we gave ourselves credit for. At our core lies an incredible durability, to not just manage but thrive amid the trials we feared would break us. Kahlo's own life, filled with physical suffering, epitomized this unrelenting spirit. Owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. By Brené Brown. Brené Brown asserts that, claiming ownership of our individual narratives, including the painful parts, requires profound courage and self-compassion. Rather than hiding, ignoring, or downplaying our difficulties, she argues that accepting our flaws, traumas, and adversities, and integrating them into our story, as part of what has shaped us, is an act of daring. Facing the hurt we carry demands vulnerability. Loving ourselves despite the shadows of our past takes deep strength. When we tell our whole truth, reflections and all, without minimizing the damage or giving in to shame, we embrace our shared brokenness. It liberates us from secrecy and fear. Brown believes this radical self-acceptance epitomizes bravery and defiance in the face of hardship. Flowers grow back even after the harshest of winters. You will too. By Jenny Cecilia. With this poetic analogy, Cecilia aims to inspire optimism and reassurance that better times await, even after enduring profound adversity. Flowers wither and die in frigid, harsh winters, seeming lifeless and defeated and gone forever. Yet as the seasons inevitably shift, warmth and light return. Conditions improve for the dormant seeds and bulbs nestled in the ground. They are then able to regenerate and revive, sprouting anew with vivacious blooms. Like flowers thrive again post-winter, we too can recover from our winter's periods of difficulty, trauma, grief or hurt. If we have the resilience of flowers, retaining a spark of hope and promise even in bleak times, then we will also eventually revive, heal, and flourish again when our personal metaphorical spring arrives. The silence after the rain. How quickly the sky pulls herself together. By April Green. With this poetic metaphor, Green depicts the restorative nature of a passing rainstorm. During the height of the storm, the skies seem ominous, dark, torrential, appended with no end to the deluge in sight. But storms, like all tribulations, do ultimately pass. The turmoil and noise fade. In the period after its cessation, a tranquil quiet emerges. The swirling chaos of clouds and drenching rains give way to calm and renewed blue skies. Green compares this to how adversity often overwhelms us in the moment. Yet in the aftermath, as the pressures fade, we collect ourselves, equilibrium and peace return. Given time, clarity comes to the once turbulent mind, just as bright skies reappear. The most chaotic storms can unwind to reveal rejuvenating light. Perhaps the butterfly is proof that you can go through a great deal of darkness, yet still become something beautiful. By Bo Taplin.